What happens when one of tennis' biggest rising stars teams up with one of the greatest legends the sport has ever seen? Nobody expected this. Not because of talent, but because moments like this almost never happen. One player is building her future. The other already changed history. And when they stepped onto the same side of the net, something surprising happened. Because this wasn't supposed to become one of the most talked about moments before Wimbledon. But it did. Alex Eala arrived in Europe carrying more than a tennis bag. She arrived with momentum, confidence, and something every athlete spends years chasing: belief. The young Filipino sensation had already turned heads all season. Match after match, she kept proving her rise wasn't luck. Her ranking climbed. Her name started appearing next to established stars. And suddenly, people stopped asking if she belonged. They started asking how far she could go. Then came Wimbledon season. The biggest stage. The brightest lights. And right before stepping onto the iconic grass courts, Alex found herself in a moment nobody saw coming. Standing beside her, 5-time Wimbledon champion, a player who transformed women's tennis, a global icon, Venus Williams. For decades, Venus has represented more than trophies. She helped reshape the sport. She fought for equal prize money. She inspired generations. She carried pressure most athletes never experience and still built one of the greatest careers tennis has ever witnessed. And somehow, even after everything, she's still here, still competing, still inspiring, still stepping onto professional courts and reminding the world why legends never really leave. Then in Bad Homburg, Germany, history met possibility. For the first time ever, Venus Williams and Alex Eala became doubles partners. Immediately, fans noticed. This wasn't just another doubles match. This felt symbolic. Past and future. Legacy and ambition. Experience and hunger. And once the match started, it became obvious this wasn't just a publicity moment. Their opponents, Catherine Harrison and Alexandra Osborne, came ready. But Alex and Venus looked like they had been playing together for years. That's what shocked everyone. Because doubles isn't simple. Talent alone doesn't guarantee success. You need timing, trust, instinct. Players have to read each other without speaking. Know when to attack. Know when to cover. Know when to stay aggressive. Most first-time pairings struggle. Not these two. From the opening points, they clicked. Every movement felt synchronized. Every exchange looked natural. Venus brought calm. Alex brought fearless energy. And suddenly, the scoreboard started moving fast. 4 games. In a row. 4-0. The pressure never stopped. Alex attacked. Venus controlled. Together they dictated everything. Their opponents struggled to breathe. By the end of the first set, 6-3. But honestly, the score didn't fully explain it. Alex and Venus looked comfortable. Too comfortable. And that's usually when sports become dangerous. Because momentum can disappear instantly. And in the second set, it did. Harrison and Osborne adjusted. Returns became sharper. Shots became deeper. The rallies changed. Errors started appearing. Then suddenly, Alex and Venus were behind. 3-2. The energy shifted. The crowd felt it. For the first time all night, they looked vulnerable. And moments like this reveal everything. Leading is easy. Responding is hard. New partnerships often crack under pressure. Communication breaks down. Confidence disappears. Players stop trusting. Start hesitating. But something different happened.
No frustration. No panique.
No negative reactions. Instead, they reset. Point by point. Game by game.
Venu stade composed.
Alex stayed aggressive. They broke back. 4-3. The crowd came alive again. Momentum returned. Then, another twist. Their opponents answered immediately. 4-4. Now every point mattered. Every rally felt heavier. The match suddenly became a test. Not of talent, but composure. Pressure kept rising. And then, the moment arrived. Game 9. Tension everywhere. Alex and Venus held. 5-4. Venus walked to the baseline. Serving for the match.
No hesitation. No nerves.
Just the calm presence of someone who has spent decades winning moments exactly like this. One serve. One exchange. Then another. And just like that, it was over. 6-4. Quarterfinals secured. The crowd erupted. Minutes later, the celebration spread online with a caption that perfectly captured the energy. ***, cue the twirl. But the real story wasn't the scoreboard. It was the feeling. This didn't look like a warm-up event before Wimbledon. They weren't going through routines. They were enjoying it. Laughing. Celebrating. Competing. Every fist pump. Every smile. Every successful exchange felt real. And for Alex, that made the moment even bigger. Because Venus wasn't just another teammate. She was someone Alex looked up to growing up. Think about that. Years ago, Alex watched Venus from a distance. Like millions of young players. Watching greatness. Dreaming. Imagining. Now, they were sharing the same side of the court. Winning points together. Celebrating together. Creating memories together. For most athletes, that remains a dream. For Alex, it became reality. And the timing couldn't have been more remarkable. Only days earlier, Alex had already made history by becoming the first Filipino player to earn a Grand Slam seeding. Her career was reaching another level. Then came another challenge. Before this doubles run, she suffered disappointment. A straight-set singles loss to Elise Mertens. Not the result she wanted. Especially after her incredible week in Berlin. As a wildcard, Alex stunned everyone. Reached the semifinals. Beat the world number 2. Beat the world number 8. Emotionally. Physically. That kind of run leaves a mark. Many players would have moved on. Protected energy. Prepared for Wimbledon.
Alex chose differently.
She came back. New format. New partner. Same fight. And maybe that says more about her growth than any ranking ever could. Because success isn't just winning. It's recovering. Resetting. Showing up again. That's what great athletes learn. Same week. Same tournament. Very little time to recover emotionally. Yet she stepped back onto the court. And won alongside one of the greatest players the sport has ever produced. That matters. Because this story isn't becoming about moments anymore. It's becoming about mentality. Now, the challenge gets even harder. Quarterfinals. Waiting on the other side. The tournament's second seeds. Established doubles specialists. Players with chemistry. Experience. Structure. The kind of opponents who expose weaknesses. And unlike Alex and Venus, they've done this together before. Which raises the question. Was this opening victory just a special moment? Or the beginning of something nobody expected? Because sometimes sports give us something bigger than results. Sometimes they give us a glimpse of what happens when generations collide. When inspiration becomes reality. When legends pass something forward. Without saying a word. Whatever happens next. One thing already became clear. Alex Eala didn't just arrive at Wimbledon season carrying expectations. She arrived carrying proof. Proof that she belongs. And if this partnership showed us anything, it's that her story may only be getting started. What do you think? Could Alex and Venus make a deeper run? Or was this unforgettable night already the perfect ending? Let me know below. But here's where the story becomes even more interesting. Because quarterfinals are where excitement ends. And reality begins. Opening rounds create headlines. Quarterfinals create answers. And Alex and Venus were about to face a completely different kind of challenge. Their next opponents weren't built on emotion. They weren't fueled by the excitement of a first-time partnership. They were specialists. Players who understood doubles at the highest level. The kind of team that doesn't beat itself. That changes everything. Because against experienced doubles teams, talent alone isn't enough. You need patterns. Precision. Discipline. One missed position. One delayed reaction. One poor service game. And momentum disappears. That's what made the upcoming match fascinating. Would Alex's fearless energy continue to create opportunities? Would Venus' experience neutralize the pressure? Or would chemistry finally meet its limits? And maybe that's the bigger question hidden inside this entire story. What actually creates success? Experience? Youth? Momentum? Or belief? Because if there's one thing this partnership already proved, it's that confidence can change everything. Think back to the beginning. Alex entered this stretch carrying emotion from Berlin. High expectations. Big wins. Then disappointment. a difficult singles loss. For many athletes, that becomes the start of frustration. But she refused to stay there. That response matters. Because champions aren't defined by their best performances. They're defined by what happens after setbacks. That's where growth lives. And that's exactly why people inside tennis are paying attention. Not because Alex won one doubles match. Not because she played beside a legend. But because she showed something harder to measure. Adaptability. The ability to switch gears. The ability to reset. The ability to show up again. That's what separates exciting players from lasting players. And then there's Venus. Even now, decades into an unforgettable career, she keeps creating moments. That might be the most impressive part. Most legends eventually become memories. Venus continues becoming moments. Different role. Different chapter. Same presence. You could see it on court.
No rush. No forcing.
Just confidence. Trusting the process. Trusting the points. Trusting the partnership. And maybe that's what Alex gained most from this experience. Not tactics. Not technique. Perspective.